Hey crocheters, so today I want to talk to you guys about something that's been on my mind, kind of, I don't know, percolating in the back of my mind, and so I've been working on it just a smidge, and I'm excited with how it's going. Anyway, it's not like life-changing, but I'm thrilled, so we're going to talk about it. So one of my, you might say kind of pet peeves, or not necessarily pet peeves, something that when I look at crochet patterns that I don't really see being fulfilled yet very well is like realistic stripes. So zebras, tigers, of course they're the only two that come to my mind right now. For most of those types of patterns, what I tend to see is just like a white row. We're going to talk about zebras because that's what we're really talking about right now is zebras. I see like a white row, a black row, a white row, a black row. And then that's just not what zebras look like. They have really, yes, they are black and white, but they have very detailed, designs on their faces, well, on their whole bodies. Their stripes are not perfectly exact. This, this. They're not like my shirt here that's like, perfectly even stripes or anything like that. And they've got some curve to it. And on their faces, they have like one that kind of runs up their forehead. And then they've got like diamond shapes and like, just like different types of stripes on the contours of their face, on their bodies, on their legs. Like they're very unique. And I haven't yet seen a crochet pattern that tries to really address that, tries to give more realistic stripes to, in this example, we're talking about a zebra, but also like a tiger, something like that. We're talking about striped animals. And so that's something that, when I kind of first got into this, I was like, this is a challenge I want to take on. But then as I've gotten into writing, more complex patterns, ones with more color changes, like Darcy Deer here, for example, like there are a decent number of color changes, and it can get really complex. And a deer would be much more complex than this because, if we're working in the round, we'd be doing like a white, a black, a white, a black, a white, a black, kind of all around. And I just think that that would be too overwhelming. For a pattern. Like first off, for me to be able to write it down and make sure I got it right, and then for people who are working on making it. No one wants to be completely overwhelmed by a pattern and feel like that, like they just can't do it, right? Mm-hmm. So that's been something I've been thinking about. So the very first idea I had, this was a little bit ago when I was working on my very first attempt at the chubby skunk, was like, what if I just top stitch the color change on? So this is the first attempt at the chubby skunk. This is not at all how it ended up being, but I'm going to show you guys this for reference. So on this guy, I just made the entire body black, and then I top stitched on the color changes, thinking that this way I get, number one, a cleaner stripe, and number two, I don't have to worry about in the pattern making all of those color changes. You just make the whole thing in black, don't even worry about it, and we'll deal with the stripe later. And so in this, I learned that this does not work because it's raised, it's 3D. Like you can see, like it doesn't look like it's a part of it, which I wanted it to look seamless. I didn't want it to look like it was put on afterward. I wanted it to look like it was part of it, and that didn't work. And also, like, in this particular application, it was pretty challenging to try and to kind of turn these corners to get them all like nice and close together. And so I realized that this is not the solution, which was, a bummer, because this is something I want to figure out. And so anyway, it's something that's just been on my mind for quite a while. And then a few days ago, actually, I think as I was like falling asleep, because that's when we have the best ideas, I had the thought, like, what if I used medium weight yarn? So on here on the Chubby Skunk, I just used the same like Bernat blanket yarn to top stitch on, which gives us, you know, all of this sort of depth, height, that's what I'm going for. All of this, you know, added height. And so the thought was like, so I know this isn't going to work for the Chubby Skunk. I'm going to, like, I went a different direction with the Chubby Skunk. That's all good. But with the idea of the zebra, what if I used medium weight yarn to top stitch on and just see if that works, you know, if like the depth, the height is different and it feels more seamless. And actually I have like pieces of crochet stuff all over the place. So I had like this piece of something and I top stitched on it and it worked great. And then I tore it out because I didn't need it on that. Anyway, but it worked really, really good. And I was so excited. So this is what I've been doing. Obviously I'm not done. And this is first draft, but I want to show you guys the chubby zebra thing I've been working on. So this is it. I am super excited. So you guys can see here that the, you know, the medium weight yarn, this is just like standard black red heart yarn. Because it is so much thinner than the Bernat blanket yarn, it actually, like, it goes on really seamless and it doesn't look like you can feel it. When you feel it, you can feel there is a textural difference, but it's not like raised like the stripes on the Chubby Skunk were. So I'm really, really happy with how this is going. Something I definitely should have done before I was just like, I know what a zebra looks like. Let's just start into, you know, figuring this out. I should have looked at a picture of a zebra. I mean, I got these markings here. Oh, all right. But everything else is just bad. I mean, once I looked at a picture of a zebra, I was like, well, that is kind of embarrassing because I didn't do a good job on that at all. I mean, but you definitely get the idea. So looking forward to playing with it some more. So on this pattern, I went very closely. It's not the exact same, very closely with the chubby horse. Whoops. Knocking stuff over. I modified the head a little bit here. Obviously, we've got like a black snout. The chubby horse has longer hair and also moved forward a little bit than this one. It has a stripe down the middle. This one doesn't. But when I was looking at pictures, you know, for stripe references, and also, yeah, just kind of studying pictures of zebras, I realized they do kind of have like longer snouts. And so I want to try making it just a little bit longer. So I want to show you, this is attempt number 1. I don't have bodies for these yet, or ears or anything else. Like, this is how far I've gotten. And this is attempt number 2. So what I've done on this one here is I've done the same thing with the black. The entire face is made white. Then we'll go back later and top stitch on the stripes. And I figure in the pattern, what I'll do is I'll probably like I'll have like a picture of what it looks like, you know, on the front and on the side. And then I'll just kind of show like my suggested lines to top stitch on. But you can absolutely have as much fun as you want to, because I mean, every zebra is unique. And that is the nice thing also, is that like if your stitching is a little bit like wobbly or something, like it's not perfectly straight, I mean, that's good, because they don't have perfectly straight lines. So it'll look more realistic. So I love that. Anyway, so on this one, I made the snout a little bit longer. I think I added 1 row here in the snout, and I think I added 1 row kind of in the back of the head to give it a little bit more length. And also I tried making this one in a spiral versus concentric circles, and it got kind of a weird jog in the nose that I don't like, so I ended up going back to concentric circles with this one. So I know concentric circles are not everyone's favorite, but when it comes to like color changes, where we've got like a black stripe and a white stripe and a black stripe and a white stripe, because that is actually like what their hair looks like, so I figured I can get away with that. It makes it a lot easier to have like the rows all make more sense if you do it in concentric circles. So that's why I went ahead and did this one. And I also moved the, like where the hair, the row that the hair begins on, down 1 row here. So hopefully when it's sitting on the body, it'll be a pretty seamless transition from like, you know, the hair that is here on the head to the hair that is on the neck. So that's where we are. Also, I think I made this guy's hair just a smidge longer than the other one, which I also like, because this was a little too short in my opinion. So now you guys know what my little like passion project is. The thing that's kind of been on my mind as I've been working on other projects. It hasn't necessarily like taken a front seat of like, this is what I'm working on, but it's really kind of captivated my imagination, and I love thinking about, you know, if I can really pull this off, like I think I can have more fun, you know, going forward with like tiger stripes. It still doesn't like address things like cheetah, sorry, not cheetah, leopard spots, or or like cheetah spots. You know, like I definitely don't have like circles figured out, but I think I may have figured out stripes, and that's really exciting. So anyway, that is it for today. Definitely as I continue to work on this, I'm going to show you guys the rest of the progress, and yeah, I hope you guys are excited.